एकं परं हृदि निरन्तरं भासते स्वयं लिख्यते कथम् हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रम् यगमपुनीति साक्षात् आत्मरूपे भाति हृदि विषमनसा स्वं चिन्वता अच्युता चलनरूपा आत्मनिष्ठो भवत्वम् देहं मृण्मयवत् जडात्मकम् अहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्तद्भावशुद्धिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः भावयुतः कुतो धिया दृष्टा मनिष्ठा स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचल शिवः पूर्णो विभायास्ति स्वयं सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचल शिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं Namo Ramana. In this, the Thursday satsang from Ramanacentre Center for Learning, it has been our practice to select two verses from the work Guru Vachika Kovai, rendered in verse form by Muruganar Swamigal. The verse selection is done randomly by Revati. Each verse is read and the verse reading is followed by a short meditation on its meaning, and that is followed by the practice of Atma Vichara for about 15 minutes. After these two segments of verse reading, meditation on meaning, and the practice of self-enquiry are completed, there will be summing up remarks by Venkatesh Deshpande, and that will be followed by the offering of Sri Ramanacentre. The chanting of the Ashtotram shall be by Vaibhavji and Prarthnama online. Today the puja team is not available here, so all of us have the opportunity when the chanting is going on to inquire as to who is the listener. There is only one being which appears as the listener and the chanter as two beings. but to find that which is the adhara for the listener and the chanter. One holds, as the listening is going on, one holds the enquiry as to who is the listener. With Bhagavan's immense grace, we commence the satsang by taking up the first verse selected for us, verse number 52. We find this in the segment Investigation into Truth. The three segments are investigation into truth, meditation on the truth, and experience of the truth. These segments are preceded by a few prefatory verses. This verse 52 is in the first segment, investigation into truth. The sub-segment in which we find this verse the reality of the world. This is the first topic taken up. In the first topic itself, the reality of the world is the first topic. Under that, verse 52. If one corrects one's gross vision, transforming it into the eye of jnana, and if one attentively views the world with that eye of truth, that is wholly jnana, then the world which was previously seen as the form of five elements, beginning with space, will be only the Brahman, that is entirely consciousness. If one corrects one's gross vision, transforming it into the eye of jnana, and if one attentively views the world with that eye of truth, that is wholly jnana, then the world which was previously seen as the form of the five elements, beginning with the space, will only be Brahman, that is entirely consciousness. The subtle truth about all spiritual sadhana is brought up in this verse. Whatever may be the spiritual effort that the great ones have prescribed for us, be it speaking truth, practice of ethics, practice of the devotion to the omnipotent one, practice of looking at the love within as the form of God to be worshipped, practicing the consciousness within as the form of God to be worshipped, practicing holding the self within as the form of God to be worshipped. In all this, there is one common strand, that there is no reference to the world. There is no reference to the circumstance. If we take the situation the experiencer finds himself in to be the experiencer is related to the world or the circumstances, all these spiritual sadhana are asking the experiencer, let the circumstance be whatever it is. You transform yourself, be it speaking truth, though still the relationship is held, the attention is already shifted to what one is doing. So the eyes of the world, that person may be having the same worldly problem. That's why we say the jnani has the worldly problem of having a body, and we associate him with the body. He may still be having that worldly problem in the eyes of the others. But inside, because of the jnana drishti, which is mentioned in verse 4 of Ulladu Narpadu, Uruvam Danayin, Ullagu Paramatran, Uruvam Tanandrel, Uvatrin, Uruvate, Kannurudal Yavan, Evan, Kannalar Kakshi Undo, Kannadita, Andamila, Kannal. This verse, there is a footnote referring to that Ulladu Narpadu verse. So, if one sees oneself with that jnana drishti, the way in which we are grossly seeing the world through this gross eyes is what make it appear as the sensory world. When we see it through the subtle eyes of the thought eye, then it's a thought world. When we see it through self-attention, the attention attending only to the self, then the world or circumstances or the problem for the common man or the body for the jnani, it disappears. The jnani is not bound by the body because in that self-attention, the body and the world are absorbed in the self. That is the verse that irrespective of your circumstances, start the spiritual sadhana. Start the direct path of self-enquiry. The problem with which you have started, for the dissolution of which you have started, you may not even be able to attain to. Doesn't matter at all. Let it remain what it is. You can keep transforming yourself. The secret is the situation is the experiencer and the experienced put together. Without even expecting the circumstance to change even a little bit, we are already bringing transformation in the world by changing the experiencer. That is why self-enquiry is the best help we can do to the world. Self-realization is even better. Self-enquiry in sadhana makes you transform yourself despite the world being the same. And self-realization removes the world out of the picture with the self consuming both the experiencer and the experienced. With Bhagavan's immense grace, let us sit in Atma-ucharan. Is it 15 minutes we are sitting, Ujjwalji? Okay. Thank you. Can you set it for? Thank you, sir.
Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya.
Namo Ramana. We continue the satsang by taking up the second verse selected for us. Verse number 1247. 1247. This is in the segment Experience of the Truth. It is in the subsegment The Author Declares His Experience. The author declares his experience. Verse number 1247. For my suttarivu, which was lamenting, imagining itself to be shackled by Maya, a guru by chance appeared here on this earth. As it is the self that manifested before me as the guru and brought me under its rule, my most worthy obeisance is only to my perfect self, which shines radiantly. For my suttarivu. Suttarivu is the objective knowledge which the jiva seems to be tied to. For my suttarivu, where the consciousness feels that there is something to be gained from the objects which will fulfill its limitation. The jiva, having identified with the limited body, has this wrong feeling that knowing objects and acquiring them or experiencing those experiences will make me fulfilled. But in that outgoing nature, imagining itself to be shackled by Maya, a guru by chance appeared here on this earth. So the guru's appearance is there on earth. Now, the question is, there seem to be a whole lot of people to whom we have to give obeisance. And most of all to the guru who has appeared in front of us. Before that, the friends who have taken care of us, the family, and more importantly, the mother and father. Then we go back in lineage, and those all who have done tapas, the papa punya, we say we have to pay obeisance to the pitrus, we have to pay obeisance to the devatas. Now, Muruganar makes it clear. That means after realization, there seem to be the need to thank and feel obliged to many in the objective space. But Muruganar is clarifying, as it is the self that manifested before me as the Guru. It is the Atma Swarupa that has manifested in front of me and appeared by chance in the it is not by our effort, it is not by some other causation that Guru appears. We can't say how, but somehow the Guru has appeared, and the Guru is nothing but the manifestation of the self. As it is the self that has manifested before me as the Guru and brought me under its rule, my most worthy obeisance is only to my perfect self, which shines radiantly. So the thanks as well as feeling gratitude for is all only abiding in the self, because it is this self which has manifested as the outer Guru and pointed out that even my body is not the real Guru. The real Guru is inside. Turn inward. Get in. Get in and realize the self. Bhagavan says to Gunaji, N.V. Gunaji, who has approached him in 1937 or so and got the Upadesham. January 1937 or January 1935, he approaches He quotes from Jnaneshwar, "O Bhagavan, let the world not be there. Let our ego dissolve into nothing and let us forever." He is praying, he says, on behalf of himself and all in the meditation hall and all the seekers. For on behalf of all of them, he is saying, let the world dissolve, let the ego dissolve, let there be only the abundance in the self. And he says, Bhagavan sat up on his couch and with a beaming face, which gods will be happy to look at. He says, Bhagavan beaming like that, that right seeker is there. The outer guru is telling, take the grace, take the grace, how much ever you want, get in, get in. He says, turn inward and hold the self. So the outer guru, who is the manifestation of the self, will tell only one thing and will aid you with his all his power for only one thing, to make you turn inward and abide in the self. And in 1949, during Kumbhabhishekam, same Gunaji comes and asks, you have asked me to get in, I am able to get in, but how to remain there? How to abide in this self? And Bhagavan says, only so far as Bhagavan laughs. Gunaji says, Bhagavan laughs. After 12 years of sadhana or 10 years of sadhana, he comes and asks, how to abide in self? And Bhagavan says, I told you get in, but this in and out are there only so far as a body consciousness is there. So eliminate the body consciousness and you're feeling that you got in and there is some outside will both vanish, he says. And that is how the self is abided in. And when someone else asks, what is the kaimar? What is the obeisance I have to pay to you, O Ramana, for giving me such a gift? Bhagavan says, you don't need to give me anything. I am already abiding in the self. Your abidance in the self itself is the best Guru Dakshina you can give, he says. Clarifying how Muruganar is saying here, the external Guru also will not demand any kind of obeisance from the Sishya because that will only be subject to Supta Riva. The only instruction Bhagavan gives to such a one is abide in the self, even beyond the division as in and out. With that, let us practice Atma Vicharam, which is constant obeisance to the self, paying obeisance to the self till the abidance is there in the self. Let us sit in Atma Vicharam for about 15 minutes. Ujjwalji, you can set the time for us.
Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya.
Namo Ramana. May I request Venkatesh Deshpande ji to give us the summing of remarks? Namo Ramana, sir.
Namo Ramana. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo, Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Dhyanamulam Gurur Murti, Pujamulam Gurur Padam, Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam, Mokshamulam Gurur Kripaha, Mokshamulam Gurur Kripaha. Namo Ramana. If you look at our journey, it's every experience is here and now. Each one of us. If you look at our journey, in our whole lives, the way we started off with religion. That my religion, and what does my religion say, and what are the good things to do in my religion? It's to do, nishkama karma. It's to do puja. It's to do Japamala, it's to write the Nama of Bhagwan, it is to sing bhajans, and all our lives, major part of our lives, what has happened? Many of us have actually gone to platforms like that, the Chinmaya mission, Shivananda mission, Ramana mission, here, there, everywhere, gone to this temple, gone to that temple, basically for what? We're looking for first of all, with a certain level of peer pressure, you think, oh, I've gone there. It's like the spiritual tourism, you went here, went there, and feel nice. And then what happens? Then you suddenly realize that everybody say, oh, you're a very religious person, Venkatesh, you're a very religious person. And then suddenly what happens in our lives? There's a guru who comes by, a guru who manifests, and it happens to everybody, whoever's in this journey. A guru comes and says, hey Venkatesh, I think so you're running around too much. The sutarivo, this running around is happening too much. So why don't you take a break and try and look within. There is something greater. So suddenly this religious person who he wants to be seen in every religious program, in every temple where there is this program or that program, he wants to be seen. Suddenly Guru comes along and says, hey, the thing that you are really looking for is actually within you. So suddenly the direction of this whole journey, which has been going out and out and out, suddenly has a new meaning altogether. And this is what is called the spiritual journey. The spirit means spiritual is about the spirit. And the guru comes and says, hey, he pushes you and says, hey Venkatesh, you have had, okay, you needed all that, but now here's the situation where I will tell you that what we're really looking for is within. So this gross vision which was there becomes more and more subtle and subtler. And then the things which were important for you suddenly have absolutely a new meaning. So now you start going inwards and start saying, oh, that is the peace. The peace that I was looking for outside, actually the peace is here and now within. And the gross has become subtle. Because the gross has become subtle, what happens is this journey suddenly flips from being a religious person to being a spiritual person, a person who is trying to understand who you really are. And then what happens? Then the guru suddenly is there, and suddenly what happens? He vanishes. The guru, which was very solid, which was in blood and flesh and in bones, suddenly vanishes because he says, Guru says, hey, go inside, go inside. and pushes you from outside and pulls you from inside. So this gross guru becomes subtle. That's what Bhagavan told all the devotees before he left the body. Where can I go? And that's the real. The truth is in that actually he is here and now. He is everywhere. He is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. So then what happens in this journey of from a religious person you become a spiritual person, and then the you don't look for answers anywhere outside anymore, because you believe that all the answers are here, all the questions are also here inside, the answer is also here inside, and you don't have to look for anything outside. Earlier you used to look for, oh, I'm going to wait for that puja is going on. Oh, the flower fell. Oh, it's very good. And I was thinking of this at that point of time. Now all that, whatever I was thinking, that will come true. So I feel happy. Now it doesn't matter whether the flower falls, flower doesn't fall. Nothing matters, because you realize that you are that. He says, Tattvamasi, you are that. And you start this journey inwards. Once you start this journey inwards, then the Sutta is no more there. This gross vision is no more there. It gets subtler and subtler and subtler. And then you start believing in your intuition for everything. You say if God is within me, I'm not going to go outside looking for answers. My answers are here, and He will fulfill all the answers to all my questions. So then what happened? It's like the Manas Putras of Brahma. The Manas Putras, the four of them, Brahma said, they asked him, the four asked them, what are you going for? Why are you not handling creation? He says, I want to go and realize who am I. If you're going for that, we also want that only. We don't want to create, manage this creation. Creation is just grow from the unmanifest. The manifest is happening, and they go back to the unmanifest. Why should we manage this? We also want the same thing. That's how they go to Dakshinamurti, and in silence they get the highest. So that's why for us also in this journey from religion to the spirit, we need to understand and keep going subtler and subtler by doing self-inquiry. And more what you see inside, actually you see outside. When you are in the subtlest form, the whole world of Nama and Rupa will vanish. You will see whatever is within is without. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramanaya. Om Ramana.
Namo Ramana, sir. Thank you very much. Namo Ramana. May I request Vaibhavji and Pratnama to do the chanting for us? The rest of us can hold as to who is listening.
नमो रमण भारद्वाज विश्वनाथ विरचितम् श्रीरमणाष्टोत्तर शतनामावलिः अपार सच्चित् सुखवारिराशेर् यस्योर्मिमात्रम् भुवनं समस्तम् गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि। ॐ महासेन महंसेन जाताय नमः। ॐ श्रीरमणाय नमः। ॐ गुरवे नमः। ॐ अखण्ड संविदाकाराय नमः। ॐ महौजसे नमः। ॐ कारणोद्भवाय नमः। ॐ जगद्धितावताराय नमः। ॐ श्रीभूमिनाथस्थलोस्थिताय नमः। ॐ पराशरकुलोत्तंसाय नमः। ॐ सुन्दरार्यतपःफलाय नमः। ॐ कमनीयसुचारित्राय नमः। ॐ सहायाम्बा सहायवते नमः। ॐ शोणाचलमहोलीनमानसाय नमः। ॐ स्वर्णहस्तकाय नमः। ॐ श्रीमद्द्वादशान्तमहास्थले लब्धविद्योदयाय नमः। ॐ महाशक्तिनिपातेन प्रबुद्धाय नमः। ॐ परमार्थविधे नमः। ॐ तीव्राय नमः। ॐ पितृपदान्वेषिणे नमः। ॐ इन्दुमौलिना पितृमते नमः। ॐ पितुरादेशतः शोणशैलं प्राप्ताय नमः। तपोमयाय नमः। ॐ उदासीनाय नमः। ॐ महायोगिने नमः। ॐ महोत्साहाय नमः। कुशाग्रदिये नमः। ॐ शान्तसङ्कल्पसंरम्भाय नमः। ॐ सुसन्दृशे नमः। ॐ सवित्रे नमः। ॐ स्थिराय नमः। ॐ तपक्षपितसर्वाङ्गाय नमः। ॐ पुल्लाम्बुजविलोचनाय नमः। ॐ चन्द्रिकासितहासश्रीमण्डिताननमण्डलाय नमः। ॐ चूतवाट्यां समासीनाय नमः। ॐ चूर्णिकाखिलविभ्रमाय नमः। ॐ वेदवेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञाय नमः। ॐ चिन्मुद्रिणे नमः। ॐ त्रिगुणातिगाय नमः। ॐ विरूपाक्षगुहावासाय नमः। ॐ विराजदचलाकृतये नमः। ॐ उद्दीप्तनयनाय नमः। ॐ पूर्णाय नमः। ॐ रचिताचलताण्डवाय नमः। ॐ गम्भीराय नमः। ॐ परमाचार्याय नमः। ॐ सुप्रसन्नाय नमः। ॐ अभयप्रदाय नमः। ॐ दक्षिणास्य निभाय नमः। ॐ धीराय नमः। ॐ दक्षिणाभिमुखाय नमः। ॐ स्वराजे नमः। ॐ महर्षये नमः। ॐ भगवते नमः। ॐ ईड्याय नमः। ॐ भूमविद्याविशारदाय नमः। ॐ विमलाय नमः। ॐ दीर्घदर्शिने नमः। ॐ आप्ताय नमः। ॐ ऋजुमार्गप्रदर्शकाय नमः। ॐ समदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्यदृशे नमः। ॐ सत्याय नमः। ॐ प्रशान्ताय नमः। ॐ अमितविक्रमाय नमः। ॐ सुकुमाराय नमः। ॐ सदानन्दाय नमः। ॐ मृदुभाषिणे नमः। ॐ दयार्णवाय नमः। ॐ श्री शोणाचलहृद्बोधस्कन्दाश्रमनिकेतनाय नमः। ॐ सद्दर्शनोपदेष्ट्रे नमः। ॐ सद्भक्तवृन्दपरिवृताय नमः। ॐ गणेशमुनिभृङ्गेन सेविताङ्घ्रिसरोरुहाय नमः। ॐ गीतोपदेशसारादिग्रन्थसञ्चिन्न संशयाय नमः। ॐ वर्णाश्रममतातीताय नमः। ॐ रसज्ञाय नमः। ॐ सौम्याय नमः। ॐ आत्मवते नमः। ॐ सर्वावनिमतस्थानाम् आराध्याय नमः। ॐ सर्वसद्गुणिने नमः। ॐ आत्मारामाय नमः। ॐ महाभागाय नमः। ॐ मातृमुक्तिविधायकाय नमः। ॐ विनताय नमः। ॐ विनुताय नमः। ॐ विप्राय नमः। ॐ मुनीन्द्राय नमः। ॐ पावकोज्ज्वलाय नमः। ॐ दर्शनादगसंहारिणे नमः। ॐ मौनेन स्वात्मबोधकाय नमः। ॐ ऋचान्तिकरसान्निध्याय नमः। ॐ स्मरणाद्बन्धमोचकाय नमः। ॐ अन्तस्तिमिरचण्डांशवे नमः। ॐ संसारार्णवतारकाय नमः। ॐ शोणाद्रिशस्तुतिद्रष्टे नमः। ॐ हार्दविद्याप्रकाशकाय नमः। अविच्युतनिजप्रज्ञाय नमः। ॐ नैसर्गिकमहातपसे नमः। ॐ कमण्डलुधराय नमः। ॐ शुभ्रकौपीनवसनाय नमः। ॐ गुहाय नमः। ॐ दण्डपाणये नमः। ॐ कृपापूर्णाय नमः। ॐ भवरोगविषग्वराय नमः। ॐ स्कन्दाय नमः। ॐ देवतमाय नमः। ॐ अमर्त्याय नमः। ॐ सेनान्ये नमः। ॐ पुरुषोत्तमाय नमः। ॐ श्रीरमण भगवते नमः। श्रीरमणाष्टोत्तरशतनाम पूजां समर्पयामि। यस्थानोररुणाचलस्य पदयोः स्मृत्याजनिं प्राप्यत दिव्यानुग्रहसुप्रवाह विवशस्तादात्म्यभावं गतः हृन्निष्ठस्वगभीरनित्यतपसा लोकान् पुनः तस्मै श्रीरमणाय ते नम इदं लोकोत्तरज्योतिषे। ॐ नमो भगवते श्रीरमणाय।
नमो रमणा वैभव जी and प्रार्थना मा। नमो रमणा वेंकटेश जी। नमो रमणा। नमो रमणा to all.